Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Drop Zone with your co-host Big Tom Tony and Dope as Jeff. How you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. Uh, yeah, Chiefs had to win, which we'll talk about later. But of course, they had to win because he's Swift. That's yay. We had to see her in the Super Bowl. But yeah, I'm doing good. How are you,
Pretty good. Hey, man.
Ryan?
Just recovering from another long week. Weather's like crappy. Yeah, we'll get into that a little bit towards the end of the show.
Yep.
So, but yeah, the weather, yeah, it's just been a rough week. Crappy weather and stuff like that made the week long and a little bit unbearable.
Yeah.
What about you, bud?
A long week. People leaving work, so I got to work more than I already was now. And this rain needs to stop. I mean, I'll take it over snow, but I want it to be completely dry. That's how I like it. I just like it sunny. I don't like rain or snow, so just keep it away.
I got a feeling this is Dakota. Trust me, we are watching the Lions game as well.
Mm-hmm. Don't worry.
Yep, Jaden missed a 48-yard field goal. All right, so let's get into it while we. So this episode is mostly going to be a basketball episode because of with the fact that there was only two games this week, which was like always at the end of the night. So our first topic is the Hornets trade Terry Rozier to Miami Heat for Kyle Lowry. Now, you being a Heat fan, Jeff.
I am.
There's old dog.
There's Owen.
So with you being a Heat fan, buddy, how do you feel about that trade?
I was questioning it at first. I mean, I'll just get this way. The Heat have looked terrible in the past. I don't know how many games, but we're on like a 6 or 7 game losing streak right now. We looked god awful on offense. Offensively, we looked bad. On defense, we looked even worse. We gave up 143 points to the Celtics at home. Like we were at home and we gave up 143, and that was on national television. Embarrassing. But as far as the trade goes, I'm happy with it because I mean I like Lowry. I like his leadership, but he's old. He's not really providing much scoring. Whereas Rozier, he's averaging like 23 a game on the Hornets, and like he's a good shooter, a good facilitator. He is sometimes very inconsistent. In his 3 games, he's done well. I mean, we only got him on Tuesday, and he's played 3 games already and started 2. So I'm sure once we get the chemistry with him, we will be all right. But the Heat as a whole right now have fallen into a slump, and I just hope that we get out of it sometime soon. But I saw something that really kind of intrigued me. We were the same record that we are this year as we were last year at this exact time, and look at what happened last year. We've had 25 different starting lineups because of how many injuries. I mean, that's clearly number 1 in the league by far. So I think once we get everyone healthy and the camaraderie and less injuries, I think we will be all right. But as far as the trade goes, I mean, I think we've won in the trade aspect because we just gave up a 2027 first round pick in Kyle Lowry, which to me, I think Rozier is just a younger Kyle Lowry. He does a lot of the same things that Kyle Lowry does do, but he's a younger. But yeah, again, I do like this trade a lot.
Yeah, that's all I was going to say. When I heard about that trade, my first thought was Oh, so they basically traded for a younger version of Kyle Lowry. To me, I think. Well, yeah.
I'm just saying, it just that same shit happened last year, and it's not the same team, but I like our team a lot more than what we had last year too.
But like I was saying, when I heard about the trade, like I said, the first thing that came to my mind was they basically traded for a younger version of Kyle Lowry. So I mean, he's going to bring some explosiveness, but at the same time, like I said, he's a younger version of Lowry. Lowry was the same way where his early years in Toronto, he had games where he was very explosive, and then he had games where you're scratching your head like, what the fuck was you thinking? Hopefully he has more of the games where he's actually able to contribute to the team more better instead of, like I said, scratching your head like, what the hell are you doing? So, yeah, I mean, to me, I think it was a great trade because you really didn't give up anything to get him. The draft picks, with the way the NBA is nowadays, there's really not much stock in draft picks anymore. So, I mean, what was it, a second round? Or was it a first round?
It was a first round, 2027.
Oh, so, yeah, a little bit down the line. Mm-hmm. Who knows what that draft class is going to look like?
Exactly. It could be the worst draft class ever. So,
exactly.
Who knows?
So, they basically got him for a little bit more than a bag of cookies and, some chips. There was some, soda thrown in. Maybe a rare T-bone steak was thrown in that deal.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel the Heat made out with that part of the trade.
I do too. The Hornets are going to work with Kyle Lowry to get another trade done because they know he doesn't want to stay there. They want to shift him up to a championship contender team. So they just want to get rid of Rozier's contract, I think, and just, I feel like that they're wasting his good years on that team. For
I think so too. You have anything else on that?
No, I'm good.
Okay, now we're going to go into. Our next topic basically was mostly about Joel Embiid, but I think we're going to just turn into the whole week of the miraculous scoring output that was done throughout the whole entire week in the NBA. We'll start off with Embiid, who had a monster game against the Spurs. 70 points, and I think it was 18 rebounds. If I'm not mistaken, or close. I know it was double-digit rebounds.
Oh, look. But, bro, he made Wembanyama his bitch. Yeah, it was 70 points, 18 rebounds, 5 assists in 37 minutes.
Yeah, that's just insane. Only the third big man to score 70 points in the NBA game. And I'm going to repeat that because I know people say, well, Kobe had 81. Again, third big man. So basically only the third center in NBA history to score 70 points. Because Wilt Chamberlain was first and David Robinson was the second.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that is very impressive. And my thing was, I don't know what Greg Popovich was thinking. He basically just allowed Embiid to do whatever he wanted.
Like, he just didn't.
Oh yeah. So for those who are also following us on the podcast and trying to follow the game, just so you know, the Lions are up 14-0.
Yes. Minor. But yeah, Popovich had no answer. He just kept thinking that 7'5" skinny ass Victor Wembanyama is just a taller me, is what I look at Victor as, with more basketball skill.
Pretty much.
Just no answer. Like, it didn't matter who was trying to guard him, how many people they threw at him. It did not matter. He was scoring on anyone and everyone. He shot 24 for 41 from the field. And only shot 2 3-pointers.
Which is impressive by itself.
Yeah.
That he put that many points for only 2 3-pointers.
That's scary. Like, he sat out against the Nuggets, which is a laughing stock. He hasn't played in Denver in 5 years, but we're talking about his 74-point performance.
Hey, Brian. And just for you, Brian, I brought back the brick wall just for you.
I just wanted to throw this in there. Embiid did this on Kobe Bryant's anniversary of scoring 81 points in a game. RP Mamba, because on that day too, Anthony Towns also scored 62 on the same day as Embiid scored 70. But they lost. They lost to the Hornets.
Go figure.
I saw highlights, and they were forcing the ball with Anthony Towns so bad. Like, they were trying to get him like 100, like with how much they were giving Anthony Towns with the ball. It was disgusting. And their head coach said that, yeah, we deserve to lose the game with how much we were forcing it. You're the head coach. Hold them to the side and be like, play team basketball. Don't force it.
Exactly. I mean,
like, you let it happen.
He's more to blame than the players are. But the simple fact is, several corners come out and say, hey, play team ball. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But the key to the whole thing is win the fucking game.
Yeah, don't lose to the Hornets.
A depleted Hornet that traded their best player.
Mm-hmm.
That was just ridiculous.
And then a few days later, which is why I said RP moment, because on the 4-year, I don't know what to call it anniversary, but anniversary of Kobe Bryant passing away with DG and the 8 others in the horrific accident.
Helicopter crash, yep.
I can't believe it's been 4 years already. 4 years since that happened. Luka Doncic topped Embiid's 70 performance with 73 against the Atlanta Hawks, the team that traded him on draft night for Trae Young.
I'm sure they're kicking themselves in the ass for that.
Mm-hmm. Just wow. And they beat the Hawks by 22 in that game. Just the scoring this week from the NBA was like, these guys
ridiculous.
Were incredible. For these defensive minded people, maybe not so much, but just for a fan of the NBA, seeing this great scoring from these great players is so much fun to watch.
Yeah, like I said, it started out with Embiid with 70, and I didn't even catch that Karl Anthony Towns had over 60 on that same night. It was because basically it was overshadowed by Embiid 70, and the fact that the Sixers won their game, where the Timberwolves lost theirs. But yeah, I don't know if anybody had the Kobe spirit in them this week. But yeah, some of those scores was outrageous. It was like they was trying to play who could top who. Cause that's what it seemed like.
Yeah, it was like, hold on, I can do better. Like Doncic almost had a 70-point triple-double.
That's insane.
Yeah, he had 73 points on 25 for 33 from the field, 8 for 13 from 3, 10 rebounds, and 7 assists. He was 3 assists shy of a 70-point triple-double. Like, I don't know what happened with these guys this week, but keep it up, because this is very entertaining to watch.
Like I said, they had the spirit of Kobe Bryant in them this week.
They did. They definitely did. And the last one that we want to talk about is Devin Booker. He also put up 62.
Oh, I forgot about Devin Booker.
And they lost that game. So it's been funny. The two people who scored over 70 have won, and the two people who scored 62 have lost. And the Suns are 0 in whatever, I think 0 in like 5 or 3 or whatever, when Devin Booker scores over 58 points. I think when he scored 70 against the Celtics a few years ago, they lost still by like 20 plus.
Yeah, they did.
And now this game, they played the Pacers, and they lost by 2. But yeah, he had 28 or 29 of his 62 in the first quarter.
I don't even know what to say to that. That's just... I mean, it's a little bit more respectable that they lost to the Pacers, because the Pacers aren't that bad of a team, compared to the Timberwolves losing to the Hornets, which is a shit show of a team.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, and like you said, they lost by 2, so it wasn't that bad of a loss. But still, if you put up that many points, I mean, you still got to find a way to win.
I don't think the Pacers had Halliburton either. They're an all-star, so that makes it a bit worse. If they didn't have Halliburton, I don't think. Let me go to the box score. Let me see. Because I don't think so. Because he's dealing with a hamstring injury. They have Siakam now, so that they kind of balance it out. Durant only had 21.
Yeah.
Bradley Beal had 12 points in 34 minutes. Siakam had 31. Obi Toppin had 23 off the bench. Former Nick. Obi Toppin had 23 off the bench. Yeah, Halliburton did not play. And they lost 131 to 133. But just the scoring this week was incredible. I think you nailed it on the head. They had the Mamba spirit in them. They want to put on a show for him this week, and they definitely did.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that. They definitely did that for a fact.
I see you smiling. Go ahead. Go to the next topic. I know what it is. Go ahead and go to it.
This topic is basically just going to be for you. I'll chime in every once in a while, but LeBron cries about not getting calls. Let me get comfortable. Because you think my when it comes to Roger Goodell's special.
LeBron. There's not. I've gotten multiple notifications about him getting technicals over complaining to the refs. Please shut the fuck up. Yeah, I know Tony we lost Tony for a bit, but it's okay. I move on. Oh, here we go. CMC.
Yeah, he just scored a touchdown.
LeBron, please stop. You're not gonna get those calls anymore. Okay? You can't flop your way into getting those calls anymore because it's a tech every time you do it. So you can only maybe do it once a game and be okay with it. But seriously, that whole team, every time they don't get a call, they fucking sit there and whine and complain. It's the LeBron effect. Anthony Davis, shut the fuck up. LeBron, shut the fuck up. Austin Reeves, shut the hell up. D'Angelo Russell, your ass on the trade block, shut the fuck up. Please, everyone on that team, shut up. Other than Gabe Vincent. I like Gabe Vincent still. Just shut up. LeBron, yes, you're 20 years in the league, you're 30-something years old, I do not care. You don't like how this league is being officiated? Yes, the officiating is absolutely god-awful sometimes, and they miss calls. But we're human. Just like you miss shots, they miss calls. So, shut the fuck up, I'm very obvious, and deal with it. Stop complaining. Stop flopping. Just play the fucking game. Look how big you are. You're huge. And you're acting like a fly committed a foul on you. Like you get tapped and you start crying. Please. Just shut up. Stop crying. Stop complaining. Unless you like donating money to charity to Adam Silver. Shut the fuck up. Or you're just gonna keep getting texts, you're gonna keep whining, keep complaining, I'm gonna keep getting on here and getting on you about it. Shut up. I'm okay now.
Well, tell me how you really feel about LeBron. No, I gotta agree with you. He, for somebody that's 6'9", 270 pounds, I've never seen anybody flop as much as he does.
Bro, he falls on like a feather. Like, would you stop? Like, you're not my size getting hit by these people. Like you just said, he's 6'9", 270 pounds. I would expect someone like me, who's 6'1", 140, to be flying across the court every time I get hit by one of these guys. He's LeBron.
Yeah, it's. I mean, he takes the fun out of watching any game that he plays in. Because, you know, at least 3 or 4 times during the game, he's going to get hit, crumble to the ground like a piece of toast, and then lay there like he just got shot. It's ridiculous. It takes the fun away from the game. You know, takes the fans don't. None of the, I'm pretty sure none of the fans enjoy it because it's so obvious that he's flopping. That it's ridiculous. And I'm glad that finally the league decided to do something. Do something about it by starting, calling techs and giving them fines. But they should have been doing this a long time ago. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, between him, James Harden, Luka, who are just praised. Devin Booker does it a lot.
Marcus Smart,
thank you. I mean, there's probably a few others. Embiid, he does it a lot. Just because now they're putting more pressure on the refs to make every call. When they just go like that and flip and flail their arms. No.
Yeah, exactly.
Just accept that you got the ball taken away from you and just go back on defense. But yeah,
I agree.
Especially LeBron. You know, people think I only like the Heat because of LeBron. No, I've liked them way longer than that. I couldn't stand him when he was on the Heat. Yes, I'll take the 2 championship rings, but as soon as he left, I was happy. Even though our team got worse, I was fine with him leaving. Because of this reason. The flopping and the crying and the complaining. It takes away his greatness to me a little bit because I look at him as the flopper. So
it takes away a lot of his greatness.
Because like you said, at least like once a game, he's going to fall over like a little baby and then just start crying because he got hit a little bit. It's just annoying. It's annoying now.
Yeah, I agree. Anything else?
No, I'm good. Thank you. I'm great. I woke up and I saw that. I was like, ooh. Was everything that you hoped for?
Oh, of course.
Good.
Now, our next topic is a kind of an interesting one. The red question is why he's not included in the greatest conversation talk. I don't know. You want to go first for this one, or?
I do always go first, but I'll let you go first. I'll let you go first on this one.
So there's 2 different type of great conversations. There's the GOAT, which I don't think he belongs in. Not until he gets at least about 2 MVPs and stuff like that. Well, 3 MVPs and 2 final MVPs. As far as being in the conversation of a great player, yes. He is in that conversation, but there's also parts where he hurt his legacy of being included in that conversation by teaming up with a 73-win team. And by him doing that kind of taints him as being classified as one of the greatest, because you had to go to an established team to win 2 championships, and then you left that team and haven't done a damn thing since. So you're kind of taken away from you being put in the conversation of one of the greatest because of that fact. Now, if he would have left Golden State, when he went to Brooklyn, If they would have won a championship in Brooklyn, yeah, that validates everything that he's wondering why he's not in the conversation. That would have validated a lot of stuff. But the fact that you left Oklahoma because you couldn't win with Russell, joined a 73 win team that was fully stacked already, left that team basically 3 years later because you wanted to prove that you could do everything on your own, joined forces with Kyrie Irving, and then got James Harden brought into the team, and you guys didn't do anything. You never even made it to the conference finals, let alone the finals. So yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to prove yourself that you deserve to be in that conversation of the greatest, but you'll never be in the conversation of the GOAT.
I thought,
Buddy.
and that was pretty much where I was gonna go with it. To me, yes, there's 2 or 3 different GOATs. That, like I say, greatest of all time. Michael Jordan. We'll say LeBron. No, I say MJ all day, every day. But that's not what we're talking about here. There's one of the greats, and he is one of the greats. But then my third is he's one of the greatest scorers of all time. Like when you say put the ball in the bucket, he's one of the greatest scorers of all time because he can get to the basket, pull up mid range, back down, post up, and then shoot the 3 with the best of them. And again, him leaving OKC to go to the Warriors after they just beat them in the playoffs, that doesn't help. The Warriors just beat the Thunder in the playoffs that previous year, and then he goes and joins the Warriors. So he's one of my greatest scorers of all time. But yeah, he will never be the GOAT, like one of the GOATs, because just even used to go and do it on his own. You mentioned the Brooklyn, him, Kyrie, and James Harden. I think it would have worked out a lot better. Injuries did not help that team. That those 3 could not get on that court at the same time. Kyrie with his mental health stuff and his shit off the court didn't help. KD with his Achilles that he was coming off of when he was on the Warriors, and Harden couldn't stay healthy either. So that doesn't help. But I'm not using that as the excuse. And you think he's now on the Suns. He's technically not doing it by himself. He has Devin Booker, like we just said, who scored 62, and Bradley Beal, and Yusuf Nurkic, who's a decent center in the league. You're not doing it by yourself. To me, doing it by yourself is going to the Hornets and making them a championship team. Like, you're still surrounding yourself by all-stars and everything. And I mean, I don't have an issue with it, but to me, you're still not doing it by yourself, and that's what's gonna have him as the GOAT, or the greatest of all time, or one of the greatest. Because he's not really doing it by himself. He's having to surround himself with all this talent to make himself even better. Wait, hey, that's why you're not in the GOAT debate. Yeah, I mean, again, you're one of the greatest scorers of all time, but not the greatest players of all time.
We basically agree on the same thing, and Grant, this basketball era is a little bit different than basically the era I grew up in, where You stayed on a team and, you didn't ask for help. You just, try to get yourself better. And I understand, LeBron made it cool to team up with your friends and stuff like that. But at the same time, if you're going to do that, you actually have to be the best player on your team as well, which he is not. Is he the best scorer on the team? Yeah, but he's not the best player on the team. So you can, want it both ways, where you can be mentioned in the conversation with all the other greats, but would not even be the greatest player on your team.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have it both ways. This is not eat your cake. This is not have your cake and eat it too. It's one or the other.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not disagreeing with that.
No, like we know that's why he's not one of the greats of all time. I mean, I could put so many people ahead of KD. But again, as far as scoring goes, yes, he's one of the greats of all time. And I mean, we think of Michael Jordan. He was clearly the best on his team. There was no questioning on if he was the best on his team.
Exactly.
Whereas KD, we have to question, is he the best on his team? And right now, no, he's not.
Like I said, he's the best scorer on his team, but not the best player.
Mm-hmm.
And as people gotta realize, that's two different things.
Like an all-around player is points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks. Like that's a complete player. KD, I look at as a scorer, not really an assist guy.
Okay, so our next topic, unless you have anything else to add to that.
No, I don't. But I just want to add, since we're in the NBA now, I want to jump to the NFL and then NBA again. But the NBA had some coaching switches.
Yes, we did. That's right. I forgot about that.
Which I don't think is right. Bucks fire head coach Adrian Griffin.
Yeah, that's. I still don't understand that one.
There's many reports that the players lost faith in him, even though they were second in the East or first in the East. They don't have trust in him as a coach, so he was fired. And what coach did they bring in?
Doc Rivers.
The coach that has blown the most 3-1 leads in NBA history. Just because of his high-profile name, they bring him in.
Which I got a feeling, even with Doc Rivers, I don't see the Milwaukee Bucks winning a championship this year, and probably not even next year.
There's just so much talent in this league right now, and the teams are just so loaded that, like, the Bucks are pulling at strings now to try and stay afloat. And I mean, again, they're still a good team, but I'm meaning when the playoffs start. I mean, we saw last year their collapse in the first round. I just don't know about this. I mean, I understand that the players are losing faith in Adrian Griffin's ability to coach, but just to fire him, not like a sit down with everyone, talk about it, just to fire him and get Doc Rivers. I don't know.
But this is the issue I have with this whole situation. So supposedly the players lost faith in him, but yet you were still the second best team in the league. So, I mean, unless they want to be despite him, he ought to be doing something right.
Yeah, like they're 32-14. I'm sure they've played a few games since the firing. Like, we'll just say they were 30-14. That's still a good record. Like, that's still second
Exactly.
in a stacked East now. You may not like them, but you guys are still winning. I mean, yes, your defense is a lot worse than it was last year, but it's because it's a different coach. Mike Budenholzer and Adrian Griffin are two completely different coaches with different styles.
Just a quick update. The Lions have managed to find the end zone once again, and they're up 21-7 over the 49ers.
Yeah. Go Lions.
So, all you Lions fans, let's hear you from you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know there's a few of you guys watching.
Yeah, and then just a small one. Washington promotes head coach Wes Ensel Jr. to the front office and named Brian Keefe as their interim head coach. So they will find a new head coach in the offseason. That's just a little slight thing, not really much. It's the Wizards who are irrelevant right now. But I just thought I should mention that head coaching.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think the Wizards have been relevant in only 15, 20 years, maybe.
They are
I think the
not.
last time they were relevant, their name was the Bullets.
I mean, I'll say the John Wall and Beal.
But they had some good seasons with good players, but I mean, they really haven't done anything.
I mean, they weren't 14th in the East at 8-37, at least. Like you're just barely better than the Pistons, and they lost 30+ games in a row.
Yeah, that's still amazing.
But yeah, Wizards. We'll see how that works out for you. I mean, it doesn't help that Poole is very inconsistent. He'll have a 30-point game, and then he'll go 1 for 11 and score 6 points. So, I don't know. Maybe the head coach will figure it out. We'll see.
He's still feeling the Draymond effect.
Oh yeah, he's still feeling that head or that punch to the head.
Yeah.
And Draymond's been a good boy ever since he came back. He didn't make his return, and he's been back, and he's been good so far. I don't want to think.
We don't have any Draymond news. It's kind of disappointing.
I know, it's actually positive. I just wanted to say that he's been good.
All right, next topic. NFL coaching jobs taken and still open.
I have all of them that happened this week, if you want me to run through them.
Sure.
Okay, almost like the injury report. No injury report. I did not do one this week. There wasn't too many.
I mean, the only ones that was even relevant was the Debo Samuels, and he was back, and the Mark Andrews, and he was supposed to have been back.
Yeah, but the Chiefs didn't have Kadarius Toney. Like, that's their best player.
That's not a big loss. Mr. Drop passes or line up off sides.
Well, he had his first kid yesterday, so I guess that's.
So he can drop him.
Oh, come on, Tony. Oh, come on.
Yeah, I know that was wrong. That was
No.
funny as fuck.
Yeah, what? So then his kid can grow up and not catch passes too?
I mean, if it runs in the family,
Okay, on to the head coaching. We're not going to slew Tony anymore. He was already slewed enough this year. Carolina hires Dan Morgan as their GM. Tennessee hires. You're gonna do the retirement fund person.
that was a good one.
There you go. Tennessee hires Bengals offensive coordinator Brian Callahan as their next head coach. So Tennessee has found their head coach. But hey, this is an offensive coordinator that's worked with Peyton Manning, Joe Burrow. God, there's a list of two others. I need to look because it's a decent amount of good head coaches that he's been under and good quarterbacks that he's coached. So, I mean, you shake your head, but
Well, here's the reason why I shake my head. And I don't know if you've ever noticed a pattern, but all of these all these coordinators or coaches that have had, a great quarterback, them go on to become a head coach, has never panned out for any team.
yeah. You're right. I can't find this fucking tweet.
So that was the only reason why I was shaking my head. I mean, I'm glad he has, got a final coaching job. But like I said, if you're breaking your head on because of the fact that, you have Peyton Manning and Joe Burrow as your quarterbacks, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe he's part of the Bill Belichick coaching tree, which we all know that coaching tree is a nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
Not one coach from that coaching tree has survived. I mean, Vrabel has been the longest one outside of Bill Belichick to survive a coaching job. The rest of them barely lasted 2 years. So that's why I was shaking my head. I mean, if it works out for him, great. But I mean, these teams got to stop going after coaches because they had a great quarterback and thinking that that's going to help turn the team around. Because unless you got a great quarterback at that franchise, you're fucked.
What do you mean?
Last I checked, Tennessee didn't have a great quarterback.
What do you mean? They have Ryan Tannehill and Will Levis.
Like I said.
And the two other,
like I said, I wish him the best of luck. Hopefully he does, turn that team around. But I wouldn't bank on it.
Mm-hmm. And the other two quarterbacks I couldn't think of was Matthew Stafford on the Lions and Derek Carr on the Raiders. Were the other two quarterbacks that he's coached.
And we all know what happened with Derek Carr.
Yeah. And the coaches that he's been under is John Fox, Gary Kubiak, Jim Caldwell, John Gruden, and Zach Taylor. So, again, hopefully it works out for him there in Tennessee.
The fact that one of them was John Gruden already should be like, team should already be like, nope, staying away from you.
All right, this all on January 22nd. Jacksonville hires former Atlanta defensive coordinator Ryan Nielsen as their new defensive coordinator. Small one, don't really care. It's a defensive coordinator job, but I thought I should include it because it's one of the coaching openings I have.
I mean, he might be able to improve that Jacksonville's defense because,
Yeah, they were god awful last year.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I know there is a rumor that you mentioned to me about that I gotta keep an eye on.
Yeah, I'll play at the end. I'll play at the end, okay? This. January 23rd, Las Vegas hires former Los Angeles Chargers GM Tom Telesco as their GM. Why?
Okay, let's not start this shit just yet.
I don't understand this move. You saw how shit the Chargers were last year. You're gonna bring in that GM. You're in the same division.
Yeah, I don't understand that one either. Yeah, I have no words for that one. That one's a head scratcher.
I see you looking around at like this. What I say? And you're like, I don't fucking know.
Fuck it, I have no idea. That's a head scratcher.
All right, I'll move on. January 24th, Miami, surprisingly, and their defense coordinator, Vic Fangio, mutually agreed to part ways. So, Vic Fangio, I'll just fast forward, and a day later, he was hired by the Philadelphia Eagles as the Eagles' new defensive coordinator. The main reason was because his family lives in Pennsylvania.
Which is understandable.
Mm.
My thing was Miami. I mean, Miami's defense really wasn't that bad. So I mean, yeah, Philadelphia's getting a defensive coordinator. You know, that might be able to turn that defense around. But I mean, yeah, I really don't know what else I can say about that one. I understand he was doing it because he wants to be closer to his family. But I mean, damn, you leaving Miami to go back to Philadelphia? Man, move him down to Miami.
Mm-hmm. I can tell you. You good. Yeah.
Why would you want to go from beautiful 70-degree weather to 20-degree weather, snowing, windshield makes it feel like it's minus 30? That shit's not fun.
Actually, firsthand, it ain't fun. Oh, hell no, is it not fun? God damn, it is not fun. I mean, I'm Northeast PA, but I've been to Philly. It ain't fun. Why? Like, I'd move to Florida in a heartbeat if it was free.
So, yeah, I just... I mean, like I said, I get it that he wanted to be closer to his family. Maybe his family didn't want to leave Philadelphia. Which, I mean, I know they say it's a city of brotherly love, but fuck that.
And the big head coaching hire of the week, we've been saying it for weeks. The Chargers hire former Michigan head coach Jim Harbaugh as their new head coach.
Yep, that's what we have been discussing that for ever since Michigan won the national title, that Jim Harbaugh now had nothing to prove left at Michigan because he said he did what he was set out to do. They, turned the program around, beat Ohio State, won a national title. So, I mean, there was nothing left for him to do at Michigan. So the next step was to come back to the NFL. And we were trying to figure out what team that would suit him best. You said from the beginning the Chargers. I would say maybe the Falcons or a team that really, because we didn't know what was going to go on with the Chargers. But yeah, you was right. You said it from the beginning. The only team he was going to talk to was the Chargers, and pretty much that was the only team he did talk to.
Mm-hmm. Out of all the head coaches that were out there, or not just head coaches, but coaches out there, I think they were smart to not let him leave that facility on that second interview. He said that he wanted a QB that could beat Patrick Mahomes. And honestly, I think Herbert, under the right guidance, could do that.
It's a possibility. If you give him the right weapons and a dominant defense.
And the right coaching with it. Because he's had good defense. And like we mentioned it all last year, their defense was bad.
Dude, that defense was not good last year.
But they have stars on their team. I think it's coaching. They just poorly coached, poorly schemed, awful system. And then last year, with their offense, Mike Williams tears his ACL. Keenan Allen goes down at the end of the year. Herbert gets injured. They barely use Austin Eckler some games. It was just a mess of a year last year. I think under right coaching, I'm not saying in the playoffs they beat them. I'm saying maybe once or twice in the regular season they could beat them since they're in the same conference.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
On the 25th this week, Carolina hires Tampa Bay's offensive coordinator Dave Canales as the new head coach on a 6-year deal.
They can't get no worse than what they had previously. So, I mean, anything. I mean, they could hire a bum off the street, and they might be able to do better. I mean, that franchise is just that franchise turned into a joke of a franchise.
Mm-hmm. I wish him the best of luck in that situation. Hopefully that money's worth it with that big headache that he's going to have to deal with.
That's going to be a headache, all right.
I mean, he did good in Tampa Bay. I don't know how long he was in Tampa Bay for, but that offense there was good. It was a good, solid offense, and we saw with Baker this year. He was a lot better.
I mean, maybe he could work with Bryce Young and bring him along better than what he was this year. But yeah, I mean, that whole offense is going to need a real overhaul to begin with.
Mm. And Atlanta, no more Arthur Smith. They hire the Rams defensive coordinator Raheem Morris as their head coach on a 5-year deal.
Yeah, because something happened with Bill Belichick where they just couldn't get a deal done. I don't think that's a bad hire. I mean, anything's better than Arthur Smith. I mean, we probably could have flew down to Atlanta and interviewed for the job, and we got a second interview before Arthur Smith got a first one. So with some other team. So I mean, Raheem Morris is not a bad, head coach. I think he would actually help that young Atlanta team. So yeah, I mean, they can't be, like I said, he can't be no worse than Arthur Smith.
Yeah, you can't be any worse than Arthur Smith. Which we'll talk about in a bit again, like I said. Little small one, New England promotes DeMarcus Covington to defensive coordinator. And Philadelphia made another amazing hire, in my opinion, on the 27th. They hire former Los Angeles Chargers and Dallas Cowboys offensive coordinator Kellen Moore as their offensive coordinator.
I don't know how I really feel about that one, to be honest with you.
I understand he's a former Cowboy. Now he's an Eagle. I don't mind this. I think it'll help that offense. It'll look a lot bit better than what it looked like this year. This year, they look fucking awful.
The whole team looked awful this year. I mean, it was one and done in the playoffs.
Yeah, one and done, and they looked like
trash.
Yeah,
exactly.
And just within the past about, I'd say, hour and a half since I've been awake, Cleveland hires former Buffalo Bills offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey as their new OC. So, I mean,
that's not a bad hire.
No, I mean, he got ran out of Buffalo with how bad he was being the offensive coordinator there. But, I mean, I think he has good weapons in Cleveland, minus the Deshaun Watson.
But at the same time, I mean, I don't think his play calling in Buffalo was bad. I think the players just didn't execute what he called. I mean, you got Josh Allen, Mr. Turnover Machine. So I mean, you can't really fault him too much for.
Yeah, you're right. It does come down to the execution of the players on what plays that the OC calls. You're right. But yeah, I think that this is a good hire for Cleveland, and minus the weapon of Deshaun Watson. I think he's going to have a good time in Cleveland. I think they're going to be successful in these next few years under Ken Dorsey. And
you have to get rid of Deshaun Watson.
Mm-hmm. That ain't happened. No one's taking that contract.
I would talk to Joe Flacco. I'm like, hey, you want a full-time contract?
And the one that we keep laughing at, regarding Arthur Smith, is a few hours ago, I get a tweet, and it said that Arthur Smith has completed an interview with Pittsburgh Steelers for their offensive coordinator job. I cannot believe those words came out of my mouth right now. I hope that does not happen. Please don't let that happen. Because I will get on this podcast and I will flip shit if we hire Arthur Smith as our OC.
But it can't be no worse than Matt Canada.
but it's Arthur Smith.
Okay. All right, you got a point.
We've slandered him the entire season.
Yeah, which is what we do.
That's not the coach I want as my offensive coordinator.
We find a target and we lock onto that target and we destroy that target.
We have that scope on him all the time, every single episode, every single one. But that's all the head coaching news. And I hope I don't come on here next week and have that as another coaching news.
I'm kind of torn between that because I don't want it to happen, but at the same time, I kind of want it to happen just so I can get that rant.
I mean, I kind of want it to happen just so that I can rant and, make you laugh and smile and make all of the fans laugh and smile, but not to have to deal with that as our OC. That no, because then I'll be ranting about it every week.
Which is understandable. All right, and our last topic. This team has managed to find a way to once again prove us right as to what we were saying at the beginning of the season. The Baltimore Ravens lose to the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. For half the season, we've always said and joked around saying that was the most inconsistent team in the league. 1 week they're good, next week they're bad. Next week they're good, next week they're bad. Then, all of a sudden, they look like the most unstoppable team in the league. And we backed off on them. And today they show that once again, the bad Baltimore Ravens falls on the field. And what was probably the biggest game of the year. What's your take on that, buddy?
I know there's one motherfucker on the Ravens, and no one's saying it, whether it's a player, staff member, anyone in that organization. Someone got a hold of our podcast, and they watched it.
And we're still sticking by that.
And they relayed it to the Ravens, and they're like, look what these guys said, that we're the most inconsistent good team in the league. Again, ever since that we said that, and joked around about that, they were unstoppable. Then when we finally switched, and we said they were unstoppable and they were very good, and we were already picking them for the Super Bowl. Like, oh, okay, great, cool, awesome. Let's lose 17-10 at home.
Yeah.
Why? Now we have to deal with a Super Bowl where Taylor Swift is going to be shown every play. No matter if it's when the Chiefs are on offense, when the Chiefs are on defense. They're going to show her. We should have seen the writing on the wall from the beginning of this year when all this shit started with Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. We should have seen it. That even though this team was a lot worse, that they were going to end up in the Super Bowl so that Taylor Swift can get her limelight.
The only thing I can think of is this team, for some reason, is allergic to prosperity. You were for basically from the second half of the season on the best team in the NFL. The only game you actually lost in the second half was to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and you guys were sitting players. Going to the playoffs, you had your bye week. You get the Houston Texans. They stayed with you for a full half, and then you turned around to commence whooping their ass in the second half. Then you get who do they play next?
I think it was just the Chiefs. It's just because they had
Oh
their
yeah. So then you get the Chiefs at home again, and they don't have Kadarius Toney because he was out giving, his wife was having birth to his baby. I'm not going to say what I said earlier.
She was
I'm gonna be
giving birth.
nice.
You almost said it. You almost said that you're giving birth. I heard it. You're giving. Nope. You got a kid.
And I mean, this Chiefs team isn't that great of a team, not compared to other Chiefs teams that we've seen. This is probably the worst Chiefs team we've seen since the Patrick Mahomes era. And you lay basically a dud down when you all season long was scoring nearly almost over 20 points. Yeah, it's starting to look like that.
I hope so.
Because right now the Lions game is at halftime.
Yeah, I
The
know.
Lions up 24-7.
Lines. Because I cannot and cannot deal with another Niners Chiefs Super Bowl. Can't do it. I mean, it doesn't help that the Ravens had a fumble in the end zone and an interception in the end zone.
Yeah, you can call it. But at the same time, me and Jeff both said, because we did both have the 49ers pick to win this game, but we also said, because unfortunately we wasn't able to change our picks, that this was the one team that did scare us.
Mm-hmm.
And they're showing the reason, they're showing why. At least they're not choking like the Ravens are doing.
No, that's what the Niners are doing. They're talking, they're talking bad. But back on this Chiefs Ravens, Patrick Mahomes, 30 for 39, 241 yards and touchdown. Isaiah Pacheco, who was questionable coming into the game, he had carries for 68 yards and touchdown. Travis Kelce with 11 receptions, 116 yards and 1 touchdown. I was going to say something. I'm not going to say it because just no. I'm going to stop myself from saying it. So But yeah, I mean, those are three dominant performances from their three best players on offense.
And I think I got an alert today about Travis Kelce breaking one of Jerry Rice's records.
Hey, let's see if I can find it. Yep. Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce has now passed all-time great Jerry Rice for most postseason catches in NFL history.
Yeah, I thought I saw something about that.
Yeah, that's very, very impressive. Then on the Ravens side, Lamar Jackson, 20 for 37, 272 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He also had 8 carries for 54 yards. And Zay Flowers had an amazing game of 5 receptions for 115 yards and touchdown. Ravens season comes to an end. I didn't want this to happen. I was saying last week, and I think ever since the playoffs started, even as a Steelers fan, I do want the Ravens to win because I don't want the Chiefs in it again. I don't want to see the Niners win it. I wanted to see someone else win it, or at least make the Super Bowl. I can't have that. I can't root for the Ravens anymore. I guess they have the most inconsistent good team in the league.
Now let's just hope the Lions can hang on. At least we can get the Lions in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think they'll win because, again, it'll be Taylor Swift night.
I don't know if I could deal with that.
I might not watch it anyway. Even if the Lions do make it, I might not watch it because I just know it's going to be, oh, look at Taylor Swift. Look at Taylor Swift. No.
Yeah, I don't want to hear anything about Taylor Swift. I'm already sick of her. Yeah, I don't have anything else on that game. It's just we was looking forward to Ravens going into the Super Bowl, and I'm pretty sure she'll find a way to make it to the Super Bowl.
She'll be in Zoom calling from Tokyo to the Super Bowl just so that they can get her face in there. Or she'll tweet out a picture of her watching it from home or from Tokyo. And we'll show it about 50 times.
Or she'll just cancel a tour in Tokyo.
I'm sorry, Travis is in the Super Bowl. I can't do it.
So, like we said, the regular season's come to an end. Unfortunately, we got one more game to deal with the Chiefs. But hopefully, now, if the Lions hold on to win, we'll get the Chiefs and Lions with rematch of Week 1. And then I can see Kadarius Toney as the MVP of that game. He might not be the MVP for the Chiefs, but he'll be the MVP for somebody in that game.
He will catch all of his targets. Throw them if he plays.
Or he'll line up 4 sides.
Yeah, he'll be the MVP for either the Chiefs or the Lions. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, I don't have anything else for that game. That's just I don't even know what to say with that one.
I don't either. Just, Ravens collapsed at home in the biggest game of the season.
Oh. All right, go ahead, take it home, buddy.
Okay. Thank you guys for watching this week's episode of Inside the Locker Room. Hope that you enjoyed everything that we talked about, especially my rant on LeBron. I know Tony really liked it. I hope I don't have to come back on here next week and go after him again, or the Steelers for hiring Arthur Smith. As always, me and Tony enjoy doing these every week. It's our highlight of our week to be able to do this for you guys. I know I enjoy it, and I know Tony really, really enjoys it. So, again, always make sure to like. Thank you guys all for commenting. Your amazing comments. We appreciate every single one of them. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. You get notified every time we do go live. It'll be every Sunday. Time is usually 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
With the exception of Super Bowl Sunday.
Yes.
That podcast will be done on Monday.
Yes. We will not be doing one Super Bowl Sunday. We'll be doing one on Monday. So you good? You're good. You're good?
Yeah. I just want to say thanks to everybody for tuning in.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jeff said, we enjoy. People don't realize how much we enjoy doing this podcast. We have our moments where we have our little rants and stuff like that. But I mean, it's good for us to get things off our chest.
Mm-hmm.
People enjoy it. People love him, especially our opinions on situations like, when I do one on Roger Goodell, when he does one on LeBron James, which I got a feeling one on Roger Goodell is going to be coming up shortly. I just have that feeling because I got a feeling he's going to do something stupid. Because I already heard a rumor that he's planning on having a Super Bowl right sold to, I think, Paramount. So, yeah. Just be prepared for that one. But we'll keep you informed if that comes up. So, you see maybe next week, Jeff with a big old smile on his face. You just know. But once again, thanks for tuning in. Like Jeff said, hit the subscribe button, click the bell notification so you guys can know when we're going to be live. And we'll see you next week. Go Lions.
Yep. Go Lions. Bye, guys.